Hello, this is Niswander, and welcome to the NOWMAN Show. Today, my guest is JJ Gemini, who is a pop artist and entrepreneur, and we're going to talk about a lot of different interesting topics and have some music and music video, and we'll get into that. But first of all, JJ, welcome to the NOWMAN Show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm super happy to be here.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about yourself to start out.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a Pandora's box. From the simplest starting place, I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon, and I've been an artist since I was very young, and I'm a rapper, songwriter, choreographer, actor, and writer. And then I also do, I'm an entrepreneur in the wellness arts. I teach yoga and life coaching. I'm a raw vegan chef and nutritionist. And I combine different mind, body, spirit modalities as I coach individuals and groups to reach higher potentials of living through natural, holistic medicine and earth-based diets and supplements and fitness, yoga, and different exercises that help increase wellness on an individual level, on a relationship level, and on a community level.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. And so I integrate all of that wellness work, of course, into my lyrics and into my music and into my dance and the artistic composition.
So you're another Renaissance man.
Renaissance. That's right. Well, you know, history repeats and art recycles in waves.
Yes.
So I am a product of, you know, evolution, and I've listened to people of past generations and absorbed their wisdom and their insight and their artistic brilliance. So why wouldn't we? We have, at the information age, you know, all of the history at our fingertips to see and to admire and to absorb all of this rich, deep history. And I believe it should affect our current generation and how we express our art and engage our work.
Oh, absolutely. I'm an advocate for cultural transition, or as I like to say, be a part of creating the new Renaissance, because I think that's what we need from a cultural standpoint, let alone everything else, which is really interconnected, right? Because it's interdependent. We need each other. So that makes perfect sense, you know. But let's start with the music.
Sure.
Now, how long have you been writing and performing?
Oh, I started acting when I was about 7 years old, and I really enjoyed the creativity that I got from being nourished by adults at that level. I wouldn't say that I wasn't getting attention from home, but you know, my brothers were older, and my parents were going through a divorce.
Oh.
And at that time of my life, when I felt I was at a very fundamental age of growth and development as a child, and so I feel that art was my refuge. It became a way to express myself, to feel like I was a part of something greater than myself when my family was going through trauma and turmoil and stuff. So so I did find art at a young age, and as I grow older, let's see, when I was 14 years old, I started going to raves. So, the club scene of the 90s,
Yep.
I was in high school, so I was pretty young when I hit the rave scene.
Yeah.
And I started dancing and going out to these, I would get into a stranger's van with all my other underage friends, and we, by the grace of God, were safe and taken care of, and would be taken to these, in the middle of the forest, where you would think crazy things
Right.
of your top of your head, maybe, of a concerned parent, but actually, we were introduced to an underground dance culture and a community of a tribe-like consciousness that took care of each other, and was actually what raised young people when they were looking for something to belong to, a community to belong to, and a way to explore what it's like to be alive and exist in a safe place. So that was a huge part of my upbringing. Finding the rave scene made me find dance. I started to explore with my body, and it was a safe place to let loose, and be myself, and without judgment, right? When at home, it's like, maybe I'm too loud, or, I'm obnoxious or something, that where in a place like that, you actually find a home, a new home.
Yeah.
And so it was that. And growing up in that inspired me to be, with the acting and then the dancing, and then I found spoken word poetry. And because I was an actor and I was studying Shakespeare that might be my. That's my phone telling me that I'm in Los Angeles and my car is parked and needs to be moved. So it's taking me out of my meditation.
So why don't we actually watch this video? We
Okay. Yeah.
We met at a place called Inspire in Hollywood, and it was a spontaneous kind of conversation, which ended up playing the co-starring role in this video as a politician that goes through a transformation. Right. So tell us what we're about to see.
Okay. Well, and then to finish that last part, I did start rapping when I was 16 years old, and then wanted to become a rapper with backup dancers, because that was one of my largest influence, was that culture. And then also at the same time was the counterculture, new age, that allowed me to want to put my lyrics and put that into affecting the political landscape that I saw, in our culture.
So you would say that this video is a combination of political, spiritual, and
counterculture activism and
counterculture
and queer, yes, a sexual expression. Now I could expound on the themes, the thematics that I put in this was in a lot of ways related to my own sexuality, my sexual expression, and then also in our society between older men and younger men, and my history as like a go-go dancer in New York, and my life within the LGBT community, and my basically my relationship with my sexuality, and the evolution of that relationship being one where I used it as an exploitive tactic for validation, to one where it was basically the creative, natural expression of my being as a holistic, all-encompassing expression of what it means to be alive and a sexually, spiritually vibrant person.
Yeah, definitely distinctive from the stereotypes of what people would think. Absolutely.
Exactly. It's about going, and it does go against those grains of stereotypes of exploitive sexuality to inner wholeness with your sexuality.
Well, let's watch the video, and it's called
Gimme Gimme Summa Dat. DAT, it stands for Divinely Activated Togetherness.
Fantastic.
The light of our spirits, the love of the earth, is stronger than all hatred, pain, and suffering. We got this. What is it that you want? Do you just want what makes you happy in the moment? Do you want to fight? Do you want to be entertained? Or do you want to create a better world? Do you even care? Do you even care? That's right. The elite can always trust affordable downtown meat. Gimme some of that. You want your hard-earned money spent on poisonous, insincere sex? What about the creative energy that has the ability to birth a new world? A loving humanity, planetary healing. Give that to your politicians.
Sure, you're a star, kid. You and all your friends.
There's no way to stop the awakening. Have we got news for you?
damn, everybody check it out. Got the grooves and the moves, go ahead, break it down. When the club shuts down, you're the only one around. It's okay, baby, cause you live downtown. Live with the sound, whip around to the pound. Bass in the face, drop down to the ground. Inner vibe, inner shine, get it out loud. Live proud, head up in the crowd. Don't really fuck with the bucks of the crown, cause I asked around, I know what you're about. Now me home, we can go for show. Bow down to the deity and you and me, free the genie now. I heard you clearly like theater in the round. Now give me that, you can have what you see. I got a little place that I like to meet. It's on the dance floor, bitch, now work that beat. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Sex, it's like magic. You feel powerless without it. Want the world, reach out and grab it. Better give it back to the world if you have it. Get your kicks, but fix the planet. Get rich, but don't wreak havoc. Making us pick up the bill on the sadness. Taking us off to hell in the basket. Put the world back how it was when we found it. Dancing till the ground caves in. Give me that true love and light. Give me that all night, that's right. Insomnia from all of your delight. You're so kind and polite, that's tight. Do you, baby, live your life. They throw shade, you throw back light. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Hey you, how you feeling inside now, right now? Do you wanna take a ride now? Find out where I keep a secret hideout. Dance a paintless in a trance till it's light out. I spit lyrics intimate. If you wanna throw down on the mount, I can pitch ideas in my head to execs and bigwigs. You hear what I said? Yes, I booked my own gig. Showed it, so get on stage and own it. Grow enough just to keep it moaning. Keep it going, whether closed or open. Let the beat hit you until you're broken. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, give me some of that. The awakening, the awakening. It was the dawn of a new day. I was exhausted, but revitalized, like a superhero. And I knew that I wasn't alone. The hearts are changing every day. But can we trust you? What do you want now? He said he wanted to help us, that we and our friends could save humanity and the planet if we work together, bringing the power of the earth and our spirits to leaders everywhere, creating a world of goodness, peace, and planetary harmony. And we knew we could do it because that's who we are.
All right, gimme some of that. Divine what?
Divinely activated togetherness.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's what we need in creating a love revolution, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's integral. You know,
It is
if we
integral.
can't do it together, then there's, it all falls apart.
So now, from here, with your artistic and the integrated aspects of your life, what's happening next? What's coming next for you?
Well, this music video really was me making peace with my past. I'm on an evolutionary path right now, and my yoga has been a very grounding and serious part of my life, especially in the present. Right now, I'm studying, I'm expanding my studies within the yogic sciences, really. And within that, you know, I've really matured as a person, and I'm grounding into the cultural responsibility of being an ambassador of love, and really grounding into what that means. And in taking on that responsibility, it's transformed my life. It's made me much more self-reflective and allowed me to really take some time to meditate, and also just meditate on how I show up in the world and what it is I'm looking to serve and what it is I'm looking to give, and how to find ways to plug that in where the places and organizations and communities that need love and care right now can be provided for. And that's a big task, you know. But but also within the community of spirituality, and within the community of the belief and the consciousness that all religions and all spiritual traditions lead you back to the one true heart of all that is in
the universe,
in the universe, all encompassing, you know. And so within that concept, it dissolves this idea of separateness, dissolves the idea of us and them, dissolves the idea of that there's anything to get other than giving love. You know, there's nothing really to get, there's everything to give. And if we created a culture that was based in that mentality that has been taught for thousands and thousands and thousands of years already, if we adopted that more in the West, like yogic saints came to do over the course of history, and it's an ongoing, you know, conversation, that should the West open up its heart to adopt more of these spiritual principles that we preach within our religious institutions, but looking to enact them not through religion specifically, but through just the principle of being a kind human being, is a universal principle, and that can be integrated into politics across the board in every way that
spirituality
we contribute.
And economics, and even politics, you know, which that's one of the things I like about Marianne Williamson, who's running for president, is that
the politics
she
of love.
Understands that the politics of love is you have to realize that there is a moral connection to everything, including politics, when it's seen as for what it is, right? Absolutely. It's not an antagonistic thing. It's if you look at politics, it moves within the moral constructs of love, right? And not the opposite.
And you see when it goes the opposite in ways of fear and control and dysfunctions of power, you see, you know, a lot of people not being provided for. You see the dysfunction economically, you see it socioeconomically, you see it across the board. And we're here to address that, you know, especially us as, you know, cisgender white men within our culture.
That's right.
Have especially profound obligation to stand up right now to all forms of racism, misogyny, and disadvantaged practices that are happening within all forms of institutionalized power in this country and across the world. Because, you know, let's face it, when you look at the polls and you look at the data and what it shows when they poll for elections, you know, the progressive candidates have the spotlight. And within that, like candidates like Marianne Williamson and Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard, they're all essentially, the string that connects them all is that they are working to provide for a whole.
Right, holistically.
Holistically. And, you know, historically, our capitalistic society has been for profit of the few. And now we're changing that paradigm. And, you know, it's not like flipping a pancake. You know, it's not like, okay, let's switch it over to love now, you know, with all of this backlogged trauma unresolved.
That's right.
You know,
well, you never solve, even in your own personal life, you never solve problems by denying that you have them. Then once you understand that you have a problem and you can identify it, then you can start working on solutions. So it's kind of like your diet. You know, you brought some stuff here.
Right.
This is that's actually the the magic potion that I drank in the music video to
That's right.
change. I literally went, as you saw, from a Scrooge, a greedy Scrooge, to one that wanted to change the world by donating unlimited dollars to start the love revolution. So I went through a transformation because I drank that stuff, and it's actually very delicious. I got to drink quite a bit of it because I had quite a few takes, right?
Right. Yeah, we were sitting there all night. You want to try some right now?
Yeah.
Let's get you some. So yeah, this is the power shake.
Gimme Gimme Summa Dat.
Gimme Summa Dat. And that's what it is. You know, it's when I say Gimme Summa Dat, it's not about, you know, the song is so provocative in sexual nature. How do you like that?
Oh, it's great.
Good.
Is that monkberry? That's that natural fruit, or
That is monk. Yeah, monk fruit
monkberry?
extract, a little bit of stevia.
Because you know, monk fruit is just, it's amazing. Like there's no sugar in it, and yet it's actually sweeter than sugar, and it's better. It's natural, right?
Absolutely, lower glycemic, and this is just one component in a whole product line that I work with people on in my health coaching. Right, I put them on 10 or 40-day lifestyle transformation cleanses or a transformation program, and we help change their whole life to be more holistic and more earth-based. And so those are the sort of tactics that I feel are everyday things that we can do in changing our diet and the way we spend our dollar is a way that we vote for the transformation of our world and the power of the earth, which is what every indigenous culture,
That's
or
right.
every historic culture, every cry for the appreciation of cultural diversity is actually, if you trace that back to their culture, is earth-based, one that honored the earth, one that revered the earth, one that worked in harmony with the earth. And that's a commonality. And our obligation now is to reemerge all that wisdom, to go back to it, and to integrate that into our politics, because we massacred it, we enslaved it, we did everything but allow it into our hearts. And now it's time to allow it into our hearts, to make the amends, make the true apologies, stand up to the past, and create a healing culture if we intend to move forward peacefully.
Well, that's why you make a really good point too, because it really is a global thing as well as a local and community thing. So it's like, you know, people talk
In
about
every family, in every individual family.
Exactly, and people talk about the Amazon, you know, and I don't mean the company.
You mean the rainforest?
The
that's
rainforest,
being threatened?
like, you know, why it's so important. Well, you know, in Central and South
not
America,
funny. It's
right?
not funny.
That's where a lot of antioxidants are,
Right.
and a lot of trees, and that is why, you know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, beef is not good for you. It digests slowly in your system, but it contributes to global warming. Just like driving, you know, vehicles too much, and we need to, you know, transition from fossil fuels to alternatives, and all this is connected to the well-being of the planet, of the people living, and the living beings on the planet, right?
Right.
So, but it also has a local component too, because it's, you know, you have individual relationships and family and tribes or friends, or whatever it is. So you also want to help people, you know, like with diet, with education of how to take care of yourself, and fitness,
the
and
pure
whole thing.
motivation it
So it
takes.
goes from the worldview to the community where you live.
Macrocosm to the microcosm.
That's right.
Creating sustainable models of wellness. You know, people coach holistic. This woman is a holistic coach for parents, right? Goes into to families and deals with the compassionate communication between the parents or authority figures within the setting and the children, to create a peaceful, holistic dynamic between the two. So I think a lot of what we have in our society is authority issues. And
That's right.
If we had an authority that was based in love and based in the power of the earth, then we would have a vastly different and a much more wonderful world. And I think we're on the way to that, because we just keep it up. Keep
Thank
your
you,
heart open.
JJ, so much for being on the NOWMAN
And
Show.
shake up those superfoods.
Shake up the superfoods. Thank you so much, Joey, for being
Thank
on
you.
the NOWMAN Show.
And last but not least, if anybody is interested in learning more about me, they can check out my website,
Absolutely.
jjgemini.com, more about my wellness. They can get a discount on superfoods if they're interested, and all the information is there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So now let's watch Rising Up with JJ Gemini. This is Niswander. You've been watching the NOWMAN Show. Stay present always.
We got this.
We got this.
The past is gone.